Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters in Dhamma, very good morning to all of you. Today's topic, as visible here, is spiritual parenting. To discuss the matters in relation to the discourses by the Buddha, I would like to ask you one question about a situation. Now, I heard you all got children. If someone comes and asks you, hello, your daughter or son just now died, what happened to you? Sad. You'll be sad. Just imagine, how do you react? How do you behave? Can you face the situation? What do? You will cry a lot. You will shout. Maybe yeah. You will have to meet different pathetic situations. Sometimes you will fall down. You will be lack of patience. That is because of our spirituality. Once we have a weak background of spirituality, we have to experience such things. Once you have rich spirituality, the situation can be totally different. That is a simple thing, simple questions, but I know when I ask the question, your mood becomes very sad and different. Spiritual parenting is the cultivation of righteousness in order to establish a strong background in the life. That is the reason, that is the cause that make us our life more beautiful and better and also so strong. The definition of the term parent, that is very important when we think of parenting. Normally we understand parents mean mother and father in English or in every background. The person that begets or brings forth offsprings, or a person who brings up and cares the children, he is called mother or father, according to the definitions in every culture, every language, every literature. They are the people who raise a child, so they play very important role in their lives. Because of the roles that the parents play, it can affect the lives of the children to be good or bad. The Buddha has defined the parents in different ways. One is given here, Mamaya Titi Mata. How we understand our mother. The Buddha defines Mamaya Titi Mata. That is in red color. In his language Pali, what is Mamaya Titi? Mamaya Titi means the one who creates or cherishes or brings up. Having given the birth, if someone cares or brings up the children, that is called Mamayatiti. Mamayati is the meaning of that, and because of that, the lady who gives the birth, who creates the children biologically and brings up, she is called Mata. Mata means mother. Always the term Mata is familiar with the Buddhist. And also another definition, Mata Nama Janika Uchati Tata Pita. Mata Nama Janika Uchati. Janika means who gives the birth. Tata Pita. In the same manner, father should be understood. Father is also a part of giving the birth in creating a children, creating a baby or child. So, the father has been defined as Piyayatiti Pita. Piyayatiti means in the language of the Buddha, that is Pali, nourishes or nurses or cares. Piyayatiti Pita, with the meaning of nourishing, giving food and shelter, in that sense, that person becomes the father. When we take these two terms, Mata and Pita, father and mother, that becomes Mata Pitaro. Mata Pitaro. Mata Pitaro means father and mother, mother and father. Then that is the term that we use for parent in English. Mata Pitaro means parents, both mother and father, according to the teachings of the Buddha. That's how we have to understand our mother and father, who they are. They have a role. That role is different from others in the society. That is more important because of its significance. Based on the roles of the mother and father, when they play their roles, they have been recognized as father and mother. Then Mata and Pita. Inside the meaning of Mata and Pita, we can see the meaning of shelter, protection, caring, providing facilities, everything. So, mother is a facilitator, father is also a facilitator. Mother is a security for the life of the children. Father is also a security for the lives of the people. Except their security, shelter, protection, guidance, no one can live in this world. They are the people who guard the children, care the children, look after the children, and do everything for the children without expecting something in return. They do expecting nothing in return. In Buddhism, there is a significant place for the parents according to the teachings of the Buddha. You know, the Buddhas never change what they have promulgated. But once Buddha has changed the Vinaya rules promulgated by him because of his father. When Prince Rahula was ordained, King Suddhodana requested not to ordain anyone without the permission of the parents. Then the Buddha accepted that and promulgated a Vinaya rule not to ordain anyone in this order without the permissions given by the parents. That is the one and only point that we can find in Buddhism, that the Buddha has changed or introduced any Vinaya rule on the request or invitation by father. It is because of the request or the request by the king, and Buddha did because of the respect for the father. And also, you know, Buddhas never go after anyone. They don't follow anyone. They don't follow the footsteps of anyone. They don't go behind anyone. But once Bhikkhuni Prajapati came to him and informed that she is going to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, Parinibbana. She is the person who cared him, who looked after him when he was a prince after the death of mother. Then she acted as the mother of Prince Siddhartha. In order to respect that role, he followed her until the gate of the monastery Jetavana as a respect. That is not to respect Mahaprajapati, but to respect the role of mother. That's how Buddha has appreciated the role of mother and father. So once the role of the mother and father becomes so strong spiritually, that would affect the lives of the people or the children. That's why Buddha has given a very significant place for the parents in his doctrine. He says in Brahma Sutta, in Itivuttaka, Brahmati mata pitaro pubbhachari api uchchere ahune yacha puttanam pajayanu kampaka. I put the resources, text from where I cite, because I want to talk anything without references. That's why. Brahmati mata pitaro pubbacharyapi uchare ahune yacha puttanam pajayanu kampaka. Look at the translation. Parents are said to be Brahma. Do you know Brahma? Have you heard about Brahma? Pubbacharyapi uchare. They are said to be the first teachers of humans. Ahunayacha puttana. They are worthy of receiving the gifts, respects from the children. And Pajaya Anukampaka, they are the people who cultivate loving kindness towards children. Brahma is a divine being in the Brahma Deva world. In addition to that, according to Indian religions, Brahma is a religious leader of Brahmins. Just like Buddha of Buddhists, Jesus Christ of Christians, God Allah of Islamic people. In the same manner, during the time of the Buddha, Brahma was the religious leader of Brahmins in Hinduism. So he is considered as the creator of the world, creator of the human beings, creator of the creatures in this world. Brahma. On the other hand, we have heard the Sahampati Brahmin Brahma Sahampati came to give the robes offerings to the Buddha when he got ordained as ascetic Gautama. So there are heavens called Brahma worlds. There Brahmas are living. According to Buddhism, these Brahmas always cultivate for divine beings, for the people or beings in this world. The divine beings are divine Four Noble Abodes, we call that Metta, Karuna, Mudita and Upeksha. Metta means loving kindness. Karuna means compassionate, Mudita means altruistic joints, and also equanimity. We call Upekka. These noble abodes, they cultivate towards all the beings in this world. If someone can cultivate metta, karuna, mudita and upekka towards others, his mind is considered as a strong mind with spirituality. Because of the spiritual level that the Brahmas have, the term Brahma has been given to the parents as a synonym because of the process of cultivating Four Noble Abodes towards the children. On the other hand, in some discourses in Buddhism, the term Brahma has been used to introduce the Buddha as well. The Buddhas at home, we say in Sinhala, Gedara Budun Amma, the Buddhas at home, they are the parents. Next to the Buddha, if we have a Buddha, that is your father and mother. So Buddha is understood as Brahma. That's why we consider that when we cultivate or when we practice the Buddhanusati meditation, saying that Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho, that is called Brahmoposate. Brahmoposate, the term Brahma has been used to introduce the Buddha as well. Then, term Brahma, we used to introduce the parents in Buddhism by the Buddha because of the spiritual cultivation. That means Metta, Karuna and Mudita Upeksha. The Buddha spreads his loving kindness, compassionate, altruistic joys and equanimity towards all the sentient beings. That's why we say him Mahakaruna, and also parents as well, they also continue to practice that towards the children. Then Buddhas equals the parents because of that practices. That's why in this discourse, the term Brahma has been given to the parents to introduce them as an honorary title by the Buddha due to the role that the parents play. Then Pubbacharya api uchchare, the first teachers in the life. When we go to nursery schools, universities, and different types of educational and professional institutes, we meet different types of teachers, lecturers, professors, guiders, guardians. They all teach something to us. So we consider them, they are teachers in our life. But you think, when you are living in this world, when children grow older, before the entrance of any educational institute, you are the persons, if you are parent, who taught them the first things in this world. You taught them to recognize their father and mother, saying that this is your father, this is your mother, and also you may teach them and introduce them, his or her brothers and sisters, cousins, relatives, neighbors, friends. Perhaps you think, even though you show the father or mother, that's not enough. You have taught the language how to address the father, how to address the mother. When they entered a school or any educational institute, they have a possibility of expressing their ideas using the language. They know the cultural ethics. They know the religious ethics. They know how to address the people in front of them. All those things, they were taught by the parents before meeting the teachers. That's why we consider parents are said to be the first teachers in the life of a human being. In case of other beings also, I think the same thing goes to them. Ahuneya Puttanam. The term Ahuneya is a spiritual quality of receiving the respects from others. That is an inheritance of venerable monks. When we recite Ahuneyo Pahuneyo, can you remember the terms in the verses of respecting Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho? At the end, Ahuneyo Pahuneyo. Ahuneya is defined as the quality of receiving the respects from others. That's why you come to the mothers, kneel down and respect. That's why you come to the fathers, kneel down and respect. That quality of the monks have that quality. That is an inheritance of the venerables. You come to the venerables, kneel down and respect. In the same manner, if you respect to someone, having kneeled down in this world, that's your father and mother. That's your father and mother. Whatever spiritual qualities called Ahuneya to receive the respects from the external parties without any barriers that monks have. The monks have that quality. That quality parents also have. You see, now imagine the king of Malaysia and world leaders are on the stage in front of them. You are there, your parents are there. When you leave for something, that meeting or gathering, to whom first of all you respect. In front of the kings and leaders, you have a possibility of kneeling down and respecting your parents. Even though a hall is full of the kings and queens, without respecting them, your father and mother, both they are worthy of receiving your respects. You kneel down and respect. If someone questions, why do you respect that person while the queens and kings are in this hall? Then what's your reply? You would reply, oh dear, my father, that is my father, that's my mother. Then does anyone question again? No. No one comes to question you, because when they become aware of that the person is mother or father of you, they don't think too much. So the term Ahuneya denotes the quality of worthiness of receiving the respects from others. So the gods have this quality, monks have this quality, kings and queens have this quality. But think of that. Among them, even though you are a king, even though you are a queen or whoever, when you come to the temple, you kneel down to the monks and respect. In that case, you don't care their ages or whatever. Whether they are young or old, whether they are educated or not, you are not finding those things. As they are monks, you respect. In the same manner, sometimes your parents can be educated or not. They can be young, sometimes they are older, but without considering their conditions or social status, even though you are king or queen, you can respect to your father and mother without considering their positions. I have seen a post on Facebook. Indian Prime Minister visits his mother and she gives 100 rupees in Indian currency to his pocket. Someone has commented on that, even though he is the Prime Minister of the country, he is the son for her. Son for her. You can be a big person, but in front of the parents, you are just son or daughter only. Pajaya anukampaka. That's why, again repeat, Pajaya means the children or the people. For the people or the children, if someone continuously cultivates noble qualities, that is parents only. This has been appreciated. These qualities of the parents have been appreciated by the Buddha as a respect to the mother and father. in Buddhism, in this discourse, such a place with higher spirituality has been given to the parents because of the spiritual qualities of the parents. Then, what are the duties and responsibilities of the parents if you are given such a big position by the Buddha? As I said, if you are a father or mother, you have been honored by the Buddha saying Brahma, because the qualities, deities in the Brahma world, they possess for qualities, for divine virtues, they have in you as a mother or father. Then, therefore, they must keep children from doing evil things. They should support the children in showing the way to do or practice the noble deeds. And also the parents' duty is to train the children to continue a good profession. And also they should connect them. They should find a suitable marriage as well for daughter and sons. Not only that, at the proper time, parents should transfer their properties, inheritance to the children at the proper time. In the discourse to the Sinhala young person, young Brahmin in India, the Buddha preached Singalova discourse. In that discourse, the Buddha talks about duties and responsibilities as a mother, as a father. There, when the children complete their duties and responsibilities towards them, parents also must complete their own responsibilities. They should perform their duties. That is Papa Nivarenti, the first duty of the parents in this world for the children. They should avoid their children in doing evil things, bad things. They should control. In that sense, mother and father both can be a remote controller of the children. Children should be controlled by using different types of methods, strategies, in order to avoid them from doing evil things, immoral practices, unethical conducts. Papa Nivarenti. First of all, if the parents cannot avoid the children in doing evil things, that would cause the decline of the children. Then Kalyane Nivesanti. Kalyana means the noble friends or nobility. So parents should establish their children in good things. When I remind that, one story comes to my mind. There was a professor. He didn't respect even to the monks and elders, and he didn't care of the Buddhist practices as well. Always try to condemn everything what we practice. What happened to his son? he let him grow in the way that he wants. He didn't send him to a temple, he didn't send him to a Dhamma school or wherever. At the end, the child began not to respect the venerables. Instead, he used to make a salute like a policeman or army man. At the end, he did the same thing for the father and mother. He didn't care. Once this professor organized a Dana ceremony at the house, all the family members attended, but this child was playing the games in his room without attending that. Because he couldn't avoid him in doing the evil things, he couldn't establish him in doing good things. Now he is suffering a lot. Sippan sikkapenti. You send your children to schools, universities to learn something. You teach them, having sent to the schools or wherever education is there. That is because you need to teach about the subjects and also about the world. To continue a good profession. Then patirupena darena samyojanti. That means at the proper time you find a partner for them to marry. That is the responsibility of the parents. Then samaye dayajang niyadenti. At the proper time you hand over your business to them and ask them to continue at the proper time. These are the responsibilities and duties that the parents should practice in case of their children. Without practicing these things orderly, if someone tries to grow up the children or bring up the children, that would be useless. Another one, in case of papa nivaranti, the first duty, if you fail to perform the first duty and responsibility, if you give so many things to the children, that is useless. You have failed as a father or mother. In Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta, this is in Pali, I'll repeat all the things in English, don't worry. Don't try to read the slides if you are unable to read. In Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta, the Buddha talks about the destructions of the world and the arising of the human society. Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta. That is called lion's roar on the turning of the wheel. So we are talking about the parents' roar, about the children. In Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta, that is a long discourse. Human age, human lifespan, the lifetime that is shortened to 10 years. The decline of human lifetime is limited to 10 years. Maximum 10 years is the lifetime that a human being can live in this society. After the decline of human lifetime. So when the 10 years old, when people become 10 years old, whatever you have done so far, everything they do and finish. At the age of 10 years, they die. In such a society, people will talk about the history of the human beings. In this human life, people have enjoyed more than 80,000 ages as the lifetime. Then they think, some of the people think, so why do we live only for 10 years? What happened to the human age? Having thought in that sense, they think there should be something wrong behind of our practices. Having said and having thought in that way, they consider we should avoid killing beings, damaging the human beings. So harming the beings, we should stop. When they practice that, the children that were born to them, they get 20 years lifetime. Those children think this is a society, maximum we can enjoy 10 years, but we enjoy 20 years. What is the secret? Secret is our parents practiced something that is not to kill living beings. So we also should do something. They also think not to steal anything from anyone that is not given to them. When they think in that way, when they practice, their children will have the 40 years as a lifetime. Now, increase of human lifetime happens because of the practices of the parents. Then those children think in the same way that earlier people thought, they avoid sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct. When they avoid sexual misconduct, their children will have the lifetime maximum up to 80 years, 80. Then those children will think, with 80 years, why do we cultivate bad things again and again? From 10 years to 80 years, our lifetime has been increased in ages because of the practices, spiritual qualities of our parents. From parents to children, they go from children to their children. Then those children think, why don't we respect our father and mother? In that case also father and mother comes first. Why don't we respect to Brahmins or religious teachers? Why don't we honor to elders in our family? Why don't we honor to the people in the society? Why don't we practice these spiritual qualities as skillful qualities? And they decide to practice all those things. When they practice, the society gradually becomes, from generation to generation, it becomes pure, the human society. Maximum 8,000 years, 80,000 years will get the lifetime as the long ages. Because of the practices of human parents. Then it would be the proper time for the next Buddha to be born in this world. The people, humans in this human world, should cultivate the mind into good direction in understanding the reality. When you practice that, when the society becomes so strong in that understanding, that would create the background for next Buddha to be born. Because if the Buddha is born to this world, when he preached, humans should have the possibilities and abilities to understand his doctrine. Now it's clear. The place of the parents for Buddhism, in Buddhism, and also their duties and responsibilities. On the other hand, it says the behaviors, ethical conducts of the human beings affect the lives of the children, their children, next generation. If so, what we have to do? We have to practice the concept of virtuous behaviors, Dhammacharya concept in Buddhism. With reference to the discourse on the auspicious signs we call Mahamangala Sutta, we say Mata Pitu Pattanam Etam Mangalam Uttamam. When you respect your parents in front of your children, so that is also a good sign for your children. If you don't respect to your parents in front of the children, what happened to you? Maybe perhaps you may have experiences. In order to establish your children in good backgrounds of spirituality, the first thing, you should respect your parents best. Then, Putta Dharasa Sangaho, you have to teach how to treat your wife and children, your husband and children. Then when they become husband or wife with children, they learn how to respect them and treat them. Not only that, Dhanancha Dhammacharyacha. Dhanan. If you don't teach how to offer dana to children, at least they don't want to share their inheritance among the brothers and sisters as well. When you lead a family life, Dhammacharya, this concept includes all the things that we discussed earlier. Duties and responsibilities, the ethical behaviors of the parents with reference to different discourses, and also the place given to the parents in Buddhism. This concept includes everything. Dhammacharya means virtuous behavior or conducts. That is an auspicious sign. How to define this concept? Some translators in English from Pali language, they say principled and moral conduct. Principled and moral conduct. Some say that is the conduct in accordance with the 10 wholesome deeds in Buddhism. You know 10 wholesome deeds? I don't want to repeat. And the virtuous behavior conduct in accordance with the Dhamma. All the Bhikkhu Bodhi defines behavior consistent with the Dhamma, his term. Then the Bhikkhu Suddhaso says, faring by the Dhamma. That's their definitions. Then how to discriminate Dhammacharya from Adhammacharya? Adhammacharya means the unethical behavior. Dhammacharya means ethical behavior. The Buddha say, ko nuko bho gautama hetu ko pachaya yena yenam idakkache satta kayassa bheda parammarana apayan duggating vinipatam nirayang uppajjanti. If there is a behavior, conduct that causes to be reborn in the underworld after your death, all those practices would be unethical. That is called Adhammacharya. What is the cause? The Master Gautama, Lord Buddha, the Buddha Gautama, his question, what is the reason why some sentient beings, after their body breaks, that means after the death, when they die, they are reborn in a place of loss, bad places, underworld, that means the apaya in Buddhism. What is the reason? That is because of the unethical behaviors. If so, for some beings to be reborn in good places after the death, when they die, maybe in a human world, in a heavenly world, what is the cause? That is the ethical behavior. Ethical behavior. Then Adhammacharya, therefore we consider as evil behavior, unprincipled and immoral conduct. So Dhammacharya is conduct in accordance with the Dhamma, practicing the 10 wholesome deeds. What are the 10 wholesome deeds? Abstaining from killing living beings, abstaining from stealings, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from false speech, divisive speech, harsh speech, talking nonsense, all those things. Those are the 10 wholesome deeds. These 10 wholesome deeds have been divided into 3 categories called threefold. They are threefold by way of body. Kaya kamma, giving up killing living beings, giving up stealings, and also giving up sexual misconduct. These 3 are conducted by way of body. Then fourfold in case of your speech. So telling lies, divisive speech, harsh speech, talking nonsense, they are fourfold. In case of by way of speaking, by way of mental practices, that can be threefold. So, not a covetous and having a kind and loving intentions and also having right view. That is practiced by the mind. Having said in that way, we have to think how to make a row of parents, not the row of lions. That's why I asked the first question. If someone comes to you and asks, now your daughter or son died. If someone tells like that, what happened to you? What's your reaction? This is the way, this is the point that you have to connect yourself truly with your practices. Having gone through the different types of matters that I have revealed from the discourses of the Buddha. You know the Jataka story called Maha Dhammapala? The story of merchant Dharmapala. Have you heard the famous Buddhist term Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari? Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari. That means the person who practices the Dhamma is protected by the Dhamma. The person who practices the righteousness is protected by the righteousness. Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari. This term is the Dhamma discourse preached by the Buddha because of this. You know the story? The story is like that. This Dharmapala sent his son to a school, university college, and he resided at hostels in comparison to present time. After that, the principals of the college, that was teacher Disapamok at that time, Master Disapamok, just similar to a vice chancellor at a university or a principal at a college. His son died. His son died. Prince Dharmapala, that was a matter for him to surprise. It was a surprise for him. And he didn't know young people die at a young life before their parents. If we discuss this matter, that would be a reason for laughing out aloud. We will understand many people die at different ages. This person doesn't know that. That's our conclusion if someone asks us. But Prince Dharmapala said to his friend, I didn't know in this world young people die at their young life before the parents' death. When this was heard by his friends, they laughed at him and they made jokes. They insulted him and complained to Master Disapamuk. Prince Dharmapala doesn't know young people die at young life. Children die at childhood. When people attain young life, they die. In the middle age also, people die. After becoming old, people die. So we can expect the death at any time. We should be ready for that. That's the reality, but Prince Dharmapala doesn't know. When the master Disapamok heard this story, and he questioned Prince Dharmapala, Prince Dharmapala directly said, yes, in our family, remember the term, in our family, young people don't die, they never die at their young life. This is not a normal or ordinary person. This is the Prince Dharmapala. He is the son of merchant Dharmapala, not an ordinary person, coming from one of the highest family in India. So the master Disapamok didn't deny this statement of Prince, and he thought of investigating that instead of rejecting. And he asked one of his students to collect the ashes and bones of burnt goat and to make it a parcel. After that, he chose few of the students and went to the house or the palace of Dharmapala in order to investigate that. Having gone there, having had a nice discussion, at the end he said, I am so sorry, merchant Dharmapala, I came to inform a sad news. Few days ago, your son Prince Dharmapala died, so we cremated. This is the ash of him. Once this was heard by Dharmapala and his wife and family members, what happened? If someone comes to you saying that, showing some ash or some human remains, saying that these are the human remains of your son or daughter, what happened to you? You will cry a lot. You cannot bear. You will lose your patience. You will react it sadly, but once Master Disapamok said that, once they hear this, they began to laugh at him. Mother of Prince Dharmapala laughed at the teacher. Father laughed, and also other Brahmins, relatives, servants in the palace, they also didn't accept. They took this as a matter of laughing out loudly. Then Master Disapamok questioned, why are you laughing at me after hearing the news of the death of your son? Then he says, I never accept. None of young people in our family dies at their young life. Can you say like that? Can I say? I can, because I have no children. I think you cannot. Many of the people cannot. You cannot state such a fully deep, prolonged statement or proclamation as a father or mother. None of the young people in the family of Dharmapala dies. What is the reason? That is the problem here also. That is the problem that Master Disapamok also had. We'll find what is the reason. This is the question. What custom is it? What is the custom of not dying at young life? What is that holy way? And also, what is that good deed? What is what kind of a fruit? Please, I request, I pray, Brahmin Dharmapala, please reveal that practice, the holy way of not dying at young life. You proclaim like a lion, children or young people, none of them die in your family. They'll enjoy the maximum lifetime of human life in this world. What's the reason? Please explain to me. Then Brahmin Dharmapala reveals the holy way, virtuous practices, and the results that they had. Not for young people not to die in their young life. What is the first one? We walk in uprightness, we speak no lies. All foul and wicked sins we keep afar. They don't tell lies. We are direct. We depend on the Dhamma. We walk in uprightness. We walk in the Dhamma. We speak no lies. We never tell lies in our family. And also all the unethical, immoral practices, we keep them away from our life. And also we do abstain from all the things that are recognized as evil things. That is a reason for us not to die as a young person. That is a reason in our family not to die anyone among us as a young person. Not only that, we hear the deeds of foolish and wise. We discriminate what are the wise people's behaviors, what are the behaviors of foolish. And we understand the behaviors and immoral practices by foolish people, and we don't take them. Not only that, when the wise people follow, whatever they follow, we follow. And whatever fools do, we abstain from that practices. That is also a reason for us not to die at young life. Not to die at young life. Not only that, whenever we offer something to someone, before offering, before handing over, we are happy. We are happy. And also while we offer that, during offering also we are happy. After offering also we are happy. We do not become sad or we do not repent about the things that we have given. That is one of secret in our family to have long life not to die anyone as a young person. Not only that, priests, Brahmins, religious leaders, wayfarers, beggars, mendicants, different types of ascetics, different types of social representatives, they come for us, sometimes for food, for drink, or whatever they need. When they have a necessity, without questioning, we satisfy them. We satisfy them even for poor people, hungry folk, we feed. Whenever they come to our house, we don't close the door. We'll satisfy them, and that is one of the reasons for us, for our young people in our family not to die so soon. And also in case of our family lives, we have been wedded to wives and husbands. The wives who were wedded to us, they are not seeking any sexual misconduct, a second husband or illegal husband. And also the males also in our family, they are faithful to practice and protect the marriage vows. They are not going for women or prostitutes. We both, women and men in our family, faithful to each other as husband and wife. That is one of the reasons for our children not to die at their young life. Not only that, the children that were born to our wives, they are so wise, more than others in this society. They are learned, they are well versed in Vedas, and they are all perfected in case of knowledge and experience and practices. That is also one of the reasons for us not to die at young life. That's why any family member in our family as a young person, they never die. In addition to that, each of our family, including grandparents, parents, children, servants, workers, security people, everyone, they try to do something righteous for the sake of having a heavenly life. Heavenly life. We all together do the same moral practices. We don't differentiate, this is a servant, this is a master, this is the employer, this is the employee. We don't differentiate, we all share the same equal spiritual qualities. We treat each other equally. That is one of the reasons for us in our family, for young people not to die at their young life. Including all the people, servants, workers, guardians, caretakers, parents, grandparents, all the family members in our family apply these noble qualities, protecting precepts, and practicing moral conducts avoiding immoral or evil practices. That would be a reason for us to have a long life, not to die at young life. Therefore, Brahmin Dharmapala declared a proclamation, like a lion, righteousness saves him that thereto is bent. My son would be protected by the righteousness. He has practiced righteousness and it will bring happiness for him. And the righteousness bless for him. Because of the practices of Dhamma, righteousness, following the instructions of the Buddha, it will never him to be reborn or have a punishment. It will never let him have a punishment, the practice of the Dhamma. Then righteousness serves the righteous as a shade. Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari. That is the place. The Dhamma will protect the person who practices the Dhamma. Just like the umbrella, while you are having the rain, the umbrella will provide a huge protection for you to abstain from the aftermaths of rain. In the same manner, a shelter, a shade will be provided by the Dhamma when you practice the Dhamma. That's why the Buddha said, Brahmin Dharmapala practiced that. As a result of that, for 7 generations, up to the present generation, in that family, any of or none of young people have died at young life. In that way, he proclaimed, that is a row of Brahmin Dharmapala like a lion. So when people come to say, showing the ashes, this is your son's or daughter's ash. He died, she died, we cremated. These are the human remains. If someone show something to us what happened, we'll get heart attack and die at the moment. But Brahmin Dharmapala laughed. Family members, even the mother also didn't accept. She laughed at the matter. At the end he says, this is the ash of a goat or dog or any animal. Dear Master Disapamuk, don't try to cheat me. My son is still living. That is how Master Disapamuk investigated the matter. Because of the spiritual practices of parents, when we practice the Dhamma spiritually, that will cause your children. That is the link. Once the parents become pure in the practice of moral practices, definitely that will result in giving long life, beautiful life, happy life to your children. You think of the parents and children that you know how they get suffered. Biologically also sometimes when we have some disease also, that also goes to the children. From children to children, for many generations it goes. Do you know King Ajasatha, who killed his father King Bimbisara? From him it started. For 7 generations, they killed their father and became the king because of the bad practice. What is the present link to this practice of parents to have the long life for the children? Can you remember the story that Buddha visited his father for the first time? At this time, Buddha came to see the father. King Suddhodana went to his son and seated in front of him and secretly saying something to his son. You know, when you are practicing for Buddhahood, many deities came to me and asked me, your son has died without attaining the Buddhahood. I never accepted. I questioned them whether my son died having attained the Buddhahood as a Buddha. No, if he didn't attain the Buddhahood, he never died. I never accepted that. When he says like that, my dear father, not only now, earlier also when I practiced 10 perfections to attain the Buddhahood, you never accepted when people say, I died at young life. So because of your moral guidance as a father to me, that affected me in resulting to create a Buddha. It resulted me in creating a Buddha. That Brahmin Dharmapala was you. That Brahmin prince was me. At that time also we practiced the moral conducts. Because of the moral conducts that we had in our life in that way, at every life we had, we enjoy long life. We never die at young life. So, if the parents practice these things, there are good results, good effects can influence on the children, and the children can have a good, long, happy life. That's why, according to the Buddhism, practicing these spiritual ways or holy ways as parents, that can be a life of spiritual parenthood. That would affect anyone to have a good generation after you. That's all. So if you have any questions, I would be replying to you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful Dhamma talk. It was very hitting to the heartstrings. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. The question I have is with regards to, you said that those who take refuge in Dharma are protected by Dharma. Those who practice the Dharma are protected by Dharma. Sometimes what happens if, let's say, within the family, there are those, so in this case, the Brahmin Dharmapala, his whole family was practicing Dharma. His parents, his 7 generations, they were completely in alignment with Dharma. But what happens if you come from a family where not everyone is interested? Maybe you are interested. Or maybe say husband and wife, only one person is interested in the Dharma and these practices. Then how is it that we can still have the same benefit of this protection of Dharma?
Of course, let's say like this. You are comparing two situations. A completely all the members practice the Dhamma in the family just like the family of Brahmin Dharmapala. On the other hand, maybe husband or wife practices, others do not. In that case, what are the results? If you are having a good wife, that is because of your moral conducts in early life. If you are having a bad husband or good husband, that is also the same thing. If you understand this matter for the first time, what you have to do is to solve the problem. You practice fully righteousness, Dhamma. At least that will protect you in next life in giving a good wife and family members. Then they will also protect you from that point. If not, until you become pure, until they become impure, what happens is you have to experience the previous aftermaths of bad results. Then, having understood your purity and their impurity, what you have to do, you have to continue your practice of pure things. Then that is the reason to have good family and good family members next life. Then it is the result. It is the way protecting the Dhamma. When you practice Dhamma, Dhamma will protect you in giving good family life in next generation. That is the way. Maybe sometimes when you practice Dhamma continually with your determination, because of that power, sometimes your family members also try to realize the reality and they also may try to follow you. That is also the person who practices the Dhamma is protected by the Dhamma. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Anyone else? Brother Leslie, any question?
Since you called me out, I have to ask. Bhante, is it really necessary to live a long life?
Is it necessary to live a long life? Long life is a result of previous meritorious deeds. To die at young life, that is also aftermaths of previous immoral practices. So, living a long life, leading a long life, may be a result of protecting the others' lives in previous life. You think if you have practiced Panatipata, so you have practiced letting other beings to continue their life without trouble, then you will enjoy long life. But if you kill, what happened? People, when we are born to this world, we have ambitions. Sometimes, definitely as a Buddhist, we want to end up the sansaric journey according to the Buddha. But he doesn't say at any point to kill the human life without living for a long life. Without living for a long life. Everyone at last moment, everyone tries to struggle to live at least another moment, at least 1 minute or 5 minutes more and more. That is one reason. On the other hand, before coming to the questions, I'll give the answer. Some people live in this world, but they are suffering a lot. Maybe they are in the sick bed. Then we can question whether we need to support him to live for a long life because he is suffering. One question asked by one sister early when I discussed this matter, when someone is in the sick bed with the machines, because of the machines he or she lives, we are suffering a lot. Having looked at the person, why we are giving the troubles for them to suffer? Can we remove the machine and let him pass away? My question was, why are you thinking of his or her death? If we think of others' death to end of a life, that is also one of the immoral practices. So, if the person suffers in that way, that is because of his previous karma. You think you are in the sick bed with the machines, are you happy to remove those things, having let you to die? You never. The same feelings struggles in the mind of the sick person also. So we cannot decide that. If we remove such machines in that way, that is also we are shortening the life. We are shortening the life of someone. That is also panatipata. We can say doctor recommended, he is suffering more. We cannot say. Some people, sometimes they are paying back. They are experiencing what they have done in their previous life. Previous life, having done so many bad things to a life. In that way. So, Buddha also appreciated the long life. That's why encouraged the people to offer dana and having said the good results of offering dana. Ayu vanna sapa bala prajna. Ayu means the long life. But ayu, long life. Our lifetime is every day, at every moment, we shorten our lifetime. That is burnt. At every moment, we cannot recover. So, in that way, when we think, the Buddha never recommend to harm any living being before the natural death. He always motivated us to have a long life. But that is one, if you are born as a human being, he appreciated you to have a long life and enjoy that righteously. But on the other hand, he talked about to shorten sansaric life. Sansaric life means the circle of reoccurrence of the birth. Circle of reoccurrence of the birth, because again you become old and subjected to have different types of disease and many types of sufferings. That's why we should end up the sansaric journey. But if you are born as a human being, if you have a chance to live long, Buddha appreciated that as a meritorious result.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Bhante, my question is, those poems are composed by you?
No. That is by the Buddha.
Oh, okay.
Those are the translations of Pali verses.
Okay.
I didn't put the Pali verses here, then the slides will be so long and it will disturb you to understand. Yes?
Your lecture top, is it from the line road, Sutta? Everything from the line road, Sutta?
Yeah, not everything. Here, these are the definitions from commentaries and sub-commentaries and discourses from different places. I didn't want to make this two academic slides because you are not an academic audience. Definitely if I do it for the audience of university, I'll provide the references more and more. This is one of the sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. This is from that. Then this is from the Digha Nikaya, Singalovada Sutta. And next we come to Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta, what you said. Then this is from some of the collections of the definitions of the Dhamma and different types of the books written on the Dhamma. Different references, different places, different citations. Not everything based on Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta.
Can you please clarify wise attention? Because I heard a lot of Dhamma speakers say wise attention. So what is your concept of wise attention?
Just I can comment on the word meaning only. I don't know what those Dhamma speakers meant really. Wise attention means the careful attention. Careful listen to the Dhamma. The Buddha also says, Sunhata dhareta charata dhamme. When you practice the Dhamma, first thing is Sunhata. Sunhata means listen to the Dhamma carefully. Why? If you don't listen to the Dhamma carefully, you will misunderstand the Dhamma. Understand? Then you will practice wrongly. Then dharhata means keep it in the mind as you heard correctly. And charata means live according to the Dhamma, what you have heard carefully and practice them, live according to that. Don't forget. That's why we need a clear, keen or wise attention to the speaker and the Dhamma when you hear that. With that meaning, they can use English words like wise attention. Pay attention, pay your keen attention like that. I think that would be enough for you. Through listening to the Dhamma, you have collected much merits. I think you have realized how to behave as a good Buddhist parent, good mother, good father. That would affect your future generations. And also by performing all those meritorious things, may you all be well and happy. May you all be well protected by the Dhamma. May you be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. And also by the power of these merits, may all the departed ones be well and happy wherever they have been reborn. May they be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all the deities receive these merits. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all the beings realize the Dhamma and attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Akhasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumodhitva chiran rakhantu loka sasanan. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumodhitva chiran rakhantu desanang. ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති අභිවාදන සීලිස්ස නිච්ඡං වුද්ධාපචායිනෝ චත්තාරෝ ධම්මා වඩ්ඩන්ති ආයුවන්නෝ සුඛං බලං ආයුරාරෝග්‍ය සම්පatti සග්ග සම්පatti මේ වච අතෝ නිබ්බාන සම්පatti මිනාතේ සමිඤ්ඤතු